uh, negotiated with Democrats will extend another major lifeline to workers and struggling small businesses, renewed major relief for laid-off American workers, invest billions of dollars into vaccine distribution, send cash directly to households, and more. The compromise bill is not perfect, but it will do an enormous amount of good for struggling Kentuckians and Americans across the country who need help now. Then we have, I'm going to hype myself for a second. I thank the president for signing this relief into law, along with a full-year government funding legislation. Remember, this is what he decried pretty regularly, right? The money going to Egypt, the money going to the foreign areas, which a lot of you saw my video on how much money in stimulus checks would we get if we had zero foreign aid. If you haven't watched that, it's still an interesting watch. That will continue. So the money will continue rebuilding and modernizing our armed forces. The administration has championed this. His leadership has prevented a government shutdown. When our government could not have afforded one. This is true. I'm glad the American people will receive this much-needed assistance as our nation continues battling this pandemic. Wow, really, really interesting that this came out so quickly from Mitch McConnell here. Let's quickly see what other updates we have. I'm still a little bit shook on this. So Mitch McConnell coming out applauding the president. We've got, Mitch McConnell. Okay, more reiterations on Mitch McConnell. This is the first time Mitch McConnell has broken his silence. Politico reporting here says that Trump signs the bill, calls for spending rescissions, and says Senate, quote, will start the process for a vote that increases checks to $2,000. Oh, smokes, that's a big update, folks. That's a big thing right here. This news is really coming in hot right here. Okay, so let me read this again. Trump signs the bill, calls for spending rescissions, aka that foreign aid part, right? And will start the process for a vote that increases checks to $2,000, repeals Section 230, and starts an investigation into voter fraud. This is very interesting. So what are we hearing here? What we're hearing here is maybe the House will just maintain their vote tomorrow on $2,000 stimulus checks. If they do, and then the Senate introduces a measure to pass $2,000 stimulus checks, maybe that amendment could still go through. I don't know, but we will see, especially since it looks like Donald Trump is going to attach Section 230 repeal to this. I don't think Democrats are going to go through this. Would Democrats potentially go for an amendment to 230 in exchange for a full $2,000, so aka an extra $1,400? Maybe. Will they go for a repeal of Section 230? Probably not. So it is entirely possible that this could be a move by Donald Trump to save face. That is, okay, I signed the bill, now we're going to try to pressure Congress to pass the $2,000, and it's entirely possible that that will die. We will see. Okay, we've got a senator from Ron Wyden. Donald Trump's tantrum has resulted in the lapse of unemployment benefits and cost millions of jobless workers a week's worth of income. Let's see here. Okay, Mitch McConnell's official statement. We already read that. Donald Trump's signing statement. That was his signing statement while he was signing. The Senate will start the process for a vote that increases checks to $2,000. Very, very interesting. I'm fascinated to see how that evolves. I do want to see, let's quickly pull up Fox. Let's see who they've got on and see if they've got, it really depends on who they have on in terms of what kind of information we're going to get. So let's pull this up quickly here and we'll see. The biggest thing is it's got to be a good speaker, otherwise.
That's not going to happen now. Now, what will happen tomorrow in the House of Representatives is they're going to put a bill on the floor to provide for $2,000 direct payment check. And I'm told by a senior member of the House Republican leadership that they think that they will have plenty of votes, even from Republicans who oppose, in many cases, stimulus checks at all, to pass that bill. What we don't know is whether or not there would be the appetite to tackle that in the Senate. You have to get 60 votes to cut off a filibuster, at least once, maybe twice, depending on how they were to go about it. So that's unclear. And keep in mind, when you look at the fine print, the way the House Democrats wrote this bill with the $2,000 direct payment, that'll be on the floor tomorrow night in the House of Representatives, it is contingent upon the president signing this bill. So that was kind of, egging the president on to make sure that he tried to sign this bill. Democrats were using as much leverage as they possibly could. John, when I look at this statement from the president, he also objects to what he calls wasteful spending in this piece of legislation. A lot of the provisions
to the statement from the president. The statement from the president is out. Let's grab the statement from President Trump. Here we go. Okay, statement from President Trump. As President of the United States, it is my responsibility to protect the people of our country from the economic devastation and hardship that was caused by Donald Trump's, China virus, as he always calls it. I understand that many small businesses have been forced to close as a result of harsh actions by Democrat-run states. Oh, he foreshadowed this. He was complaining about this on Saturday, about how Gavin Newsom, there was a whole report on Fox News about how California was trying to recall Gavin Newsom because of basically restaurants having to shut down. And Donald Trump immediately tweeted about basically how California sucks. Many people are back to work, but my job is not done until everyone is back to work. That's a very good line. That's a good line that actually the Federal Reserve uses as well. Fortunately, as a result of my work with Congress in passing the CARES Act earlier this year, we avoided another Great Depression. Under my leadership, Project Warp Speed has been a tremendous success, and my administration and I developed a vaccine many years ahead of wildest expectations, and we are distributing these vaccines and others soon to come to millions of people. As president, I've told Congress that I want far less wasteful spending and more money going to the American people in the form of $2,000 checks. Okay, well, this is actually back. This is a step back. Look at this. Yesterday, he literally told us he wanted $2,000 per adult and $2,000 per dependent. He said that. Now, in his presidential statement, he's saying he's going back to the original argument. No, we just want $2,000 per adult and $600 per child. Okay, so we're back to $2,600 as a man.
Look
as
at your
president,
camera.
I
Your camera
am
is like
demanding
this.
rescissions under the...
Do you know how to fix your camera?
Yes.
Wrong one.
I
Wrong one.
I'm not sure
Wrong
which page
one.
is page 2. I'm just going to read this one.
This
As president, I'm demanding many rescissions under the Impoundment Control Act of 1974.
Oh, you've
The
already
act
done that.
provides that
Yes.
whenever the president determines that all or part of any budget authority will not be required to carry out the full objective or scope of programs for which it has provided, or that such budget authority should be rescinded for fiscal policy or other reasons, including the termination of authorized projects or activities for which the budget authority has been provided, the president shall transmit to both both houses of Congress a special message describing the amounts to be reversed and relevant. Okay, basically, this whole section right here, he's basically saying, hey, look, I'm going to go through this bill, and I'm going to line item crap, and if there's stuff that I don't want, it's going to be gone. Is this... No, okay, that's not live. Okay. I saw Trump coming up, and it was just a recording. I was going to play it. So basically, if there's something Donald Trump does not agree with the program, he's basically reserving the right to go through and make modifications or demand that programs be terminated that otherwise are not necessary. But this act already exists, right? So he's basically just telling us something that is already a presidential power. So nothing new there. I will sign the omnibus. We already know that he has, so he already has. This statement was written before. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed. I will send back to Congress a... What? What? I will send back to Congress a redlined version, item by item, accompanied by the formal rescission request to Congress insisting that those funds be removed from the bill. Okay, like, I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court got rid of the line item veto, so I think what he's saying here is he's going to... remove certain things that he thinks are wasteful, and then under the authority of this, he's going to request that certain things be changed. Okay, so it's not really a counteroffer, it's a suggestion that via his power, he is going to request that certain things be terminated that are within the bill. But this is not a line item veto. In fact, let's find out really quick. Line item veto, I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court got rid of that a long time ago, like 20 years ago or something like that. Okay, without... Or do they still have... I don't know. Do they still have it? I don't know. Line item veto reenactment act... Okay. In 2009, introduced the bill would give the president... Okay, this is going to take me too long to read, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, here we go. Though the Supreme Court struck down the Line Item Veto Act in 1998, and then it goes into some other little details and stuff, there are authorizations to basically, the president can send legislation to Congress to withdraw a particular item or put spending on hold, and then that proposal is going to be considered in the House within 10 days on an up or down basis, and that can be passed by a simple majority. Okay, so that's how they cleared this up, and I'm reading from a different page here. But basically, there is no line item veto, so he cannot veto things. This is just basically him making a counter proposal that doesn't cancel out the whole bill, but it just basically starts the gears in motion at Congress to go, all right, we'll consider, you know, what you want us to change, basically, when it comes to terminating programs. Okay, that is a good detail. I'm signing this bill to restore unemployment benefits. That's the big pressure he got, right? Stop evictions, huge pressure to stop evictions. Provide rental assistance, huge. Folks, get in line. If you are a landlord, you better be in line with your tenants. Potentially even, remember, because the rental assistance provides money going forward, you might even want to consider getting ahead in line, even if you're not necessarily behind yet, but you might have a tenant who's going to be behind. Add money for the PPP, return our airline workers back to work, add substantially more money for vaccine distribution, and much more, okay? Let's see what else we've got. On Monday, the House will vote to increase payments to individuals from $600 to $2,000. Therefore, a family of four would receive $5,200 if that passed. If that passed. And that's just the House. We don't know if that's going to go through the Senate. We'll see. Additionally, Congress has promised that Section 230, which so unfairly benefits big tech at the expense of the American people, will be reviewed and either terminated or substantially reformed. Yeah, Congress has not promised that, no. Some Republicans in Congress have suggested that, but Congress has not promised any such thing regarding Section 230, at least not that I'm aware of. Now remember, Section 230 is very big to Donald Trump's future, because Donald Trump is sick of getting flagged. And we know this. I don't know that I can pull, I can, you know, I want to keep reading this letter, but let me just quickly see, because I do think I have it conveniently here, somewhere. Basically, if you're not super familiar, Section 230 is basically Donald Trump's rebuttal to getting flagged on Twitter. But I know that Mark Meadows echoed how frustrated he was with Section 230, and no, I don't think I have it, unfortunately. I wish I had it. But there was basically, what I'm trying to get to is, there was a good tweet where Donald Trump said, hey, like, these, it was something to the effect of, it was on Christmas Eve, Donald Trump tweets and says, these flags on Twitter are getting out of hand, Section 230 needs to be modified, essentially. And so this was a very recent tweet where Donald Trump is linking him getting flagged on Twitter to wanting to get rid of Section 230. Donald Trump will brand changing Section 230 as something that's good for the safety of American people, and he does that by saying, well, if platforms like YouTube and Twitter don't have liability protections, then it's going to be harder for Russia to spread disinformation on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, because the platforms won't have liability protections, so they could get sued if they spread Russian disinformation or whatever. That's the argument. Okay, enough about 230. And I know many of us only half care about 230. Sorry. Likewise, the House and Senate have agreed to focus strongly on the very substantial voter fraud which took place in the November 3rd presidential election. So this is him making a conclusive statement that there was substantial voter fraud. I imagine, and this is true, the House and Senate have said that they will investigate any leads on voter fraud. So this is fair. That's a fair statement. And as they should. As they should. The Senate will start the process. This is interesting. The Senate will start the process. So since Mitch McConnell applauded this, like, Mitch McConnell, I don't think he types letters fast, okay? I think Mitch McConnell got a good, solid heads up on this. Well, like I said earlier in the live stream, I think he got a heads up on this last week. But anyway, he had his letter ready to go, Mitch McConnell. So anyway, the Senate will start the process. So I think Mitch McConnell is on board with this, is what I'm trying to say. The Senate will start the process for a vote that increases checks to $2,000, repeals Section 230, that's just not gonna fly, man, and starts the investigation into voter fraud. That's fine. Like, I think everybody's gonna be okay with investigating voter fraud. That's fine. That is a non-issue. The checks to $2,000, great. I think that's going to pass. I mean, I know that's gonna pass the House. It's a non-issue to get it to pass the House. That's no problem. Democrats will pass that. I think there'll be enough Republicans to pass this. But this Section 230 thing that I just explained, so if you didn't understand, go back like 5 minutes and rewatch that part, or if you just joined, watch that part. But repealing that Section 230, that's not going to happen. So if you're excited about the potential for $2,000 stimulus checks, hang your hat on what happens with Section 230. That's why I keep explaining it, because Section 230, even though it seems boring, it is very crucial as it relates
Excuse me,
to the $2,000 stimulus checks. Big tech must not get protections of Section 230. Voter fraud must be fixed. This is interesting. Much more money is coming. I will never give up my fight for the American people. Okay, so this is Donald Trump's way of trying to save face here, right? So basically, he delayed checks for a week. He delayed unemployment for a week. But he's saying, hey, don't worry about it, though. We're going to get this, we're still going to have a vote in the Senate on these $2,000 stimulus checks. But that's going to be asterisked with the Section 230. I thought they were going to do an amendment. That was my guess, is that they would try to amend that and not pass this. So I'm very surprised that Donald Trump signed this and is still pushing for the 2K and 230 modifications. So impressive. Let's see here. Okay, Senator Gary Peters. Let's quickly see what he's got to say here. So this is interesting. So this is a Democrat. Senator Gary Peters just released a statement. Let's see if I can switch over to it really quick. Okay, so Gary Peters has a statement. This is a Democrat who has a statement on this. Let's find out what we got. Here we go. Let's be clear, this deal does not go nearly far enough. There's much more to be done, particularly to assist communities facing budget shortfalls. Right, I mean, the whole liability protections and the state and local government funding issues, those are still coming. Mitch McConnell has said we will do another bill. Nancy Pelosi has said another bill will come. Joe Biden has said another bill will come. Very true. Joe Biden has told us that $1,200 stimulus checks are coming in the future bill. He was bluntly asked, will your package include $1,200 stimulus checks? And he said, yes. Furthermore, Gary Peters goes on to say, but there is no question that Michiganders need help, and they need help immediately. This package provides important relief to get us through these next few difficult months, from vaccine distribution to small business support to direct payments to put money into the pockets of struggling Americans, expanded unemployment assistance and resources for schools. This bill should not be the end. I'm going to keep fighting to ensure Michigan families have the support and resources they need to overcome this public health and economic crisis. Okay, a lot of activity right now going on, obviously, regarding this, and this is entirely understandable. Actually, this is interesting. So here's just a very good point that was just pointed out. Let's see here. So Mitch McConnell's statement, which we have here. Let's go back to Mitch McConnell's statement. On Mitch McConnell's statement, it's worth noting, now that we've gone through Donald Trump's statement, it's worth noting that nowhere in here does Mitch McConnell say we're going to, work on this $2,000 stimulus check package. Nowhere does, or amendment. Nowhere in Mitch McConnell's statement does it suggest Mitch McConnell is going to investigate voter fraud, do the $2,000 stimulus checks, or do any kind of Section 230 amendments. So possibly a lack of coordination between Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell on that, or Donald Trump is potentially just saying the $2,000 stimulus check vote is coming in the Senate to save face, again, because he delayed for a week, delays checks on unemployment for a week, and he's saying, hey, I'm going to push for that. But whether or not that happens, who knows? Okay, so we got, let's see what else we have here. Rob Portman tweets in support. So AOC mentions, great, now Donald Trump can sign the amendment we put forth to increase the $600 checks to $2K. That will obviously get put forth in the House. We will see if that ends up going to the Senate. Though so far that does not appear likely. Let's quickly see if there's any other update. Let's see what we got here. A lot of updates already. Let's quickly jump on over. We're gonna look between both CNN and Fox here, just so we get the left and the right. Let's see what we can find out.
It's going to be interesting to see how the president's fellow Republicans vote on that, if in fact it does come to pass. It's going to be a busy week between Christmas and New Year's, that is for sure.
What do you got?
Turn a bill of indictment
Give the U.S. attorney, what's his job?
to present the evidence.
Boring. Okay, so what do we know so far now? A lot of things. We know that Donald Trump has signed the bill. The $600 stimulus checks are coming. Can they get amended up? Yes, they can get amended up. Do we think that amendment is going to pass? Well, based on how Donald Trump has presented the amendment requiring Section 230 adjustments, probably not. Probably not. Hunter, thank you for the $10. Bob, Baller, thank you. And obviously, thank you to all of those of you who are members in the chat here. Let's see here. What other questions do we have here? No garnishment, that's correct. Where do you apply for rental/rent assistance? This is something that you'll have to do probably through your local housing agency when this bill is actually in effect. It's now been signed, so the bill has been passed. The $600 stimulus checks have been passed. It's going to probably take a week to 2 weeks before local housing agencies actually get up with this, but I would imagine stay tuned to your local HUD office. Is probably going to be the best place to start. EIDL will come back. The portal is open, but I imagine they might come out with a new portal. Let's see. No child support garnishments this round. That is correct. That has been clarified. It was very, very confusingly written. How do I change my direct deposit information? My guess is, and you can try it, try to log into IRS Get My Payment. So Google this. Google IRS Get My Payment. Log into the Get My Payment portal and see if you can change your direct deposit info. Be careful, if you log in incorrectly too many times, you get logged out in 24-hour increments, so keep that in mind. The stock market futures are already agreeing. The Georgia election is going to be big. Donald Trump did sign, yes. Georgia election is still going to be a big, big moment of news coming up. Let's quickly see if we've got anything else going on while we get stock market futures up here. Actually, pretty green right now in stock market futures. It looks like we've got volatility down 1.3%. We've got the U.S. Dow Jones Industrial is up over 30,000, up a third of a percent. We've got the S&P 500 up 0.4%. And looks like the NASDAQ here, NASDAQ 100 up 0.3%. So anything, let's see here. Yeah, we've gone through the statement from the president. We've gone through Mitch McConnell's statement. It's good that we have something now, because this really became a question of $600 or zero there for a moment, right? Yeah, get the razor out for Lauren, absolutely. So Pee-wee, yeah, the $300 boost is passed as part of this. Absolutely, the same thing for the $100 mixed status, mixed worker status. Yeah, let's see if the speaker has made a statement. Good question. So no statement from Nancy Pelosi yet, and Democrats. That'll be the big next step. Is how are Democrats going to respond to this? Are they going to stop the vote on the 2000? Are they going to wait to see what the Senate brings up? Very, very good questions. Very good questions indeed. Okay, another representative here. Glad it was signed. Yeah, it is a little bit of a shame that it was not signed 24 hours ago. You are absolutely correct on this. The Digital Millennial Copyright Act. I do not know. I have not researched that in regards to the modifications it makes here. I do believe there are some provisions about basically like felony copyright, much harsher in enforcement. I'm not entirely sure. I have not read this section, but I do believe that it's not going to be a substantial issue for most people. So that's my response to that. How's the market? Yeah, we kind of just let's see. 230 allows them to restrict what's said by users. No freedom. They could. Yeah, okay, so Scott, what Scott's talking about here is the argument that because of Section 230, Facebook and Twitter, they can basically shadow ban what people say on a platform. And, for example, they could, the most recent argument is Republicans argue that Hunter Biden's news was buried, but then other anti-Trump news was kind of propped up. So you do have potentially that argument for the tech influence, of course. So I definitely did think that that Donald Trump would not sign, but he has. I would expect updates on the EIDL probably within the next week or so. So stay tuned. Obviously, I will post on this channel. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Also, go to this, okay? Go to metkevin.com/chat. Or is it Discord? I think it's Metkevin. Hold on. I think it's /Discord, actually. Okay, chat. Oh, yeah. It's metkevin.com/Discord. I just put a link in here. And you could join our free chat group, and I'll also send notifications out in there. Sometimes, I won't spam you, but sometimes I'll do that. But yes, I can shave now. But do join the Discord. We can talk more there, have more of a conversation there, so thank you for that. And there we go, folks. Thank you so very much for being here. Get your 4 free stocks with Webull if you haven't done it yet. The promotion ends very soon. The promotion ends at the end of the month. You deposit $100, you get 4 totally free stocks and get life insurance. Links down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We had breaking news together. I enjoyed sharing it with you. Odds that the 600 gets amended to 2,000, 20%. My guess. Bye, everyone.
You hear that wind? Do you hear the wind? Alona. Oh, okay.
A short clip shows what appears to be a police officer walking in the street about half a block from a parked RV. The lights from a police car can be seen flashing on the other end of the block. The cop exits the frame just before the blast occurs at 13 seconds into the video. The explosion flash is followed by heavy smoke and flying debris. The rest of the minute-long clip shows the street shrouded in black smoke, with a fire burning in the background. The street in downtown Nashville where the blast took place was closed that morning when cops discovered the RV, which had a recorded message telling people to evacuate. 6 Nashville officers were praised as heroes for their quick action evacuating nearby buildings and likely saving many lives.
That's in Nashville.
I don't know where it is.
Okay, just let me know if you do or not. White box truck. We know it was parked earlier today at a convenience store in Rutherford County. Authorities say it was playing an audio recording similar to that of the RV that exploded in downtown Nashville on Christmas morning. They did not tell us whether that was the recording of the woman's voice talking about the bomb that was going to be detonated or if it was the music that had been playing. We are I don't know if we have this video, if we can share with you. If not, we can tell you there was a robot out here checking out that vehicle.
See
Actually,
the robot?
looks like it might be there. I don't know,
Right here?
Alex, if you can see it in
Huh?
the shot we have up right now. It looks like there might still be a robot
See
checking
the
out
robot?
the scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have my photographer.
This is in
take that.
Tennessee.
Okay, she says she did. So yeah, presumably it's checking.
You can see the colors of the state troopers.
Yeah.
This is the color of Tennessee. And this, she said Rutherford County. So that's Tennessee. It's not too far away from here.
Out that truck to see if there are any bombs or explosives, and like you said, we are probably a mile or so back, so we're having a hard time from our vantage point seeing what's going on here. But according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the driver has been detained. They said in a press release the driver had been detained. We don't know if it was a man or a woman, but we have reached out to them for further clarification about what happened. It's unclear if the driver went willingly or if the driver may have exited the vehicle and fled on foot, but that's something that we are checking on as well. Someone on the scene here also just told us that Rutherford County is leading the investigation. There are also Wilson County deputies out here and Tennessee Highway Patrol surveying the situation. Alex?
That's in Murfreesboro.
Yes, Alex, and the thing we were focusing on out there was his RV that neighbors tell us was parked in his backyard there on that duplex on Bakertown Road. So far today, you know, I would call it a little bit suspicious that there is also a large white truck that authorities are looking into right now, but no one has confirmed if these two are related. All we know, again, is that there was a similar audio
These bananas
recording
are still
coming
too
from this
green.
truck this morning that was parked at a convenience store in Rutherford County. Someone noticed
Huh?
the similarity and called
These
it.
bananas are not ready yet. They'll be
But-
ready tomorrow.
But I ate it earlier. It's so good.
I know it's hard. It's a hard banana. Hard banana. You want one?
Mm.
You want one? You only have one person watching. I think that one person might be you.
No, I'm not watching.
Okay, so who is the one person?
I don't know.
To breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Dennis. We want to take you live to the scene in Lebanon right now where authorities have descended upon a road. They have found a white box truck that they believe to be suspicious. Here's a live look from the scene right now. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says that the box truck parked was originally
See the man?
parked at a store
Yep.
playing audio
He's got a bomb suit
similar to
on.
the Christmas explosion music that was playing in Nashville. Chelsea Beinfor is live on the scene for us, and she has been giving us an update throughout the afternoon. This all happened around noon. Chelsea, are you with us right now?
Yep, Alex, we're out here on Highway 231 South near the Cedars of Lebanon State Park. You can see down the road here there are dozens of police cars checking out what they're calling a suspicious vehicle. It is a white box truck. We know it was parked earlier today at a convenience store in Rutherford County. Authorities say it was playing an audio recording similar to that of the RV that exploded in downtown Nashville on Christmas morning. They did not tell us whether that was the recording of the woman's voice talking about the bomb that was going to be detonated or if it was the music that had been playing. We are here. I don't know if we have this video, if we can share with you. If not, we can tell you there was a robot out here checking out that vehicle. Actually, it looks like it might be there. I don't know, Alex, if you can see it in the shot we have up right now.
Yes,
it looks like
Chelsea,
there might
moments
still
ago
be
we
a
did see it
robot checking out the
deployed.
scene.
Moments ago, we saw it deployed, and you are right. I know your vantage point,
Okay.
the authorities have you far back for safety reasons, but yes, we are seeing it. Go ahead and explain what you found.
Okay, I'm gonna have my photographer zoom in if she can. Okay, she says she did. So yeah, presumably it's checking out that truck to see if there are any bombs or explosives. And like you said, we are probably a mile or so back, so we're having a hard time from our vantage point seeing what's going on here. But according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the driver has been detained. They said in a press release the driver had been detained. We don't know if it was a man or a woman, but we have reached out to them for further clarification about what happened. It's unclear if the driver went willingly or if the driver may have exited the vehicle and fled on foot, but that's something that we are checking on as well. Someone on the scene here also just told us that Rutherford County is leading the investigation. There are also Wilson County deputies out here and Tennessee Highway Patrol surveying the situation. Alex?
Chelsea, yesterday evening as well, you were there with some breaking news out of Antioch. We do know that ABC News has confirmed a person of interest, 63-year-old Anthony Warner. He was connected to a property in Antioch. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you found out last night?
Boy?
Yes, Alex, and the thing we were focusing on out there was his RV that neighbors tell us was parked in his backyard there on that duplex on Bakertown Road. So far today, you know, I would call it a little bit suspicious that there is also a large white truck that authorities are looking into right now, but no one has confirmed if these two are related. All we know, again, is that there was a similar audio recording coming from this truck this morning that was parked at a convenience store in Rutherford County. Someone noticed the similarity and called it in to authorities.
All right, Chelsea Beinfor, thank you for standing by. If in fact you missed the press conference this morning that gave more detail about what was being played from that RV, it was the mid-1960s classic song Downtown by Petula Clark. So we are not sure what is being played from that white box truck that had similarities, but again, that is something for you. We also heard from some of the officers that were on the scene. We know that 6 responded, but one in particular said it was the audio that he specifically remembers, that it felt like whoever was behind them was actually watching them because surveillance cameras were above the mirror of the RV. I know that we were working to get that sound for you. Do we have that we can have people at home listen to that for you? If not, we can make sure that you will be continuing to have coverage on WKRN.com. We will be streaming this picture for you. There is a press conference that will be happening in about an hour at 4 o'clock. We will bring that live to you as well and work to get all of this information as we try to piece together exactly what is going here following the Nashville bombing on Christmas morning. Again, we will return to programming, but we will see you in about an hour.
Oh, look, look, look.
Wow.
Oh my God, look at that.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
That's unique.
Yeah. Oh my God, look at that.
Oh boy.
Wow. Look at that, look at that, look, 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 look. Oh shit. Whoa! Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Look at that. That's not too hard. Still pretty hard. Oh my God. Whoa, look at that.
It's not so hard.
No, that's hard. Whoa! Look, 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 you're missing it. Look at that. Whoa, that is hard right there. That's pretty cool.
Will end faster. It's going to end anyway, but it's going to end faster. They started denigrating. I noticed in about 3 weeks they started denigrating it. And the reason they're doing that is because they think I'll get credit if we have a vaccine anywhere near the election, but certainly before the election. But essentially we're there now anyway, and we're ready to distribute very rapidly. So what they're doing is trying to make it like, ah, that's not such a big deal, when actually it's one of the greatest things that anyone's done, and I'm not saying me, I'm saying anyone. It's so incredible, it's so important. And they've done it in record time. If this were a typical administration, this vaccine wouldn't be ready for 2 or 3 years because of the FDA process. I have totally changed the FDA process. Same safety, but the speed is from a different world. And we should have the vaccine approved very soon, up and approved. Plus, we have many companies doing it, great companies, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna. We have many companies doing it, and almost all of them are having, so far, seemingly very good results. They're in phase 3 trial. That means we're right at the end of the process. Really looking good and could be really early. And so all of a sudden, instead of saying, wow, this is great news, we're going to have the vaccine early, they're saying, oh, the vaccine's coming out too soon, it's going to be unsafe, it's going to be all of these things. It has nothing to do with the safety. These are great companies. They're not going to put themselves on the line. They would have tremendous liabilities. So it's a tremendous thing that they've done and that we've all done together, then we're ready to distribute it very quickly. And we'll do our senior citizens first, the most vulnerable, as you can imagine, because they're really, as it turns out, we know the disease now, the most vulnerable are senior citizens by far, especially if they have a problem with the heart or if they have diabetes or something, those two in particular. And we'll take care of people. And you would think they'd be happy and thrilled and jumping up and down. Instead, it's just a terrible situation between that, the fake ballots, all of the different things that are going, this whole ballot thing, I call it unsolicited ballots. They used to say universal, but nobody knows what that means. Unsolicited, meaning people didn't solicit these ballots. People are saying, hey, what's going on? I just got a whole patch of ballots. I have no idea who they're sending them to. They're sending it to the wrong people. The military got ballots and then you put my name, and I think they put Mike Pence with somebody else. They had it all separated. It's so messed up, you have no idea. And they know it. They know it. They want it to be a mess. And it's very sad to see.
I want to get back to that, but one of the things that troubles me also is it's part of the campaign effort by the Harris-Biden administration, as I understand it, by that campaign, to blame you for deaths that result from this virus. Now, I have here memos that went out in March in New York, in Michigan, in New Jersey, in other states, big population states, where the governors ordered coronavirus positive patients into nursing homes, into assisted living homes. You didn't order that, they ordered it. The last data I saw says over 40% of the deaths have resulted from that. Has Joe Biden criticized a single one of those governors? Has Joe Biden criticized that policy at all?
Look, you know it, and I know it. Joe doesn't know he's alive. If you asked him that question without teleprompters, I don't think he could answer the question. And it's a sad thing that's going on. The whole thing is a sad thing. And you said it before, the Harris-Biden administration. Who would ever say such a thing? I mean, I've been here for quite a while now, almost 4 years, if you can believe it. I never said the Pence-Trump administration. You don't say that. It's like so unnatural. Who would say what he said? You would think it's impossible unless there's something wrong. It was compounded when she went out and said she puts her name first. She's always putting her name first. By the way, she's the most liberal person in the Senate. We've got the most liberal person in the Senate. So it's a sad thing that's going on, and hopefully we're going to have a big victory. And I think when we have the victory, it's going to calm down because they're getting tired of losing. We've been beating them at every front, and they're getting tired of losing. But it's going to be an interesting period of time. I do think, and I go back to it all the time because I go to the different states. We go to Michigan, we go to Ohio, we go to every state. But the states where they have the ballots, which is particularly Pennsylvania and Nevada and North Carolina, where they have this whole tremendous amounts of ballots filing in. Nobody knows where they're being sent. I don't think the senders know, or maybe even worse, they probably do know. I think that's going to cause a tremendous disruption on November 3rd.
Let me get into this with you, the mail-in ballots in the states, because I've looked at this over the years, even before now. Notice the push for mail-in ballots starting about April. All of a sudden, mail-in ballots, that's the gold standard. Now we know state from state from state. Many of them have never experienced it. Many of them have never experienced the number. The states can't handle it. So here's my theory. Let me get your thoughts on this. Election night comes, and you're the winner. And they're going to say, no, he's not the winner. They're going to bring these lawsuits on the mail-in ballots. We saw them do this in California and other places.
Absolutely.
Election night, let's say you're behind and you say, wait a minute, you've got millions of ballots out there. You guys put this process in place. Now we want to wait and see. Then they're going to call you a dictator. So either way, they seem to be setting up a narrative. But aren't they basically undermining the integrity of the electoral process?
Look, they know it doesn't work because there have been many races using this over the last 14, 15 months. And I heard there was one yesterday or the day before yesterday. The ballots are so mixed up. They have millions of ballots going out. On little races like in New York or the one in Paterson, New Jersey or Virginia or many other locations. And we're now finding out about the one from over the last couple of days. we're talking about numbers like 30% and 40% off. We're not talking 1%, which is too much, because you can lose by 1%. 1% is a lot. But they're off by 30, 40% sometimes. Ballots are missing, there's fraud. Now they have a new thing where they don't want to verify signatures because that makes it easier, so you don't have to verify a signature. You see that one in Nevada. It's a very tough situation. I will tell you this. You go out, you look at these governors, and you look at, I don't want to insult anybody, but take a look at some of these governors that are in charge of the ballots. Beyond partisan, in many cases political hacks. And it's going to be a very sad day. Look, people should go. Now, if they have an absentee ballot, or, I call it a solicited ballot, where I like the word solicited, unsolicited, because people understand it. But you have a solicited ballot or an absentee ballot, that's good, because you request a ballot, the ballot gets sent to you, you send it back. You have a very good chance that that's going to work out just fine. But when they just dump millions of ballots all over the country, it's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster, and they know it. They know it's not going to work. It doesn't even work when you have 30,000 ballots, and we're talking about many millions of ballots. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be bedlam, and this is what they want.
Mr. President, their schemes are out front, but they've been scheming for months. They've been game playing to make sure that you're not president. They're bragging about it to the newspapers. You see article after article about a coup against you. You see article after article about an insurrection against you. You see the farm team out there burning our cities and so forth and so on, and they're threatening even worse than ever Trumpers do. What do you say to the American people about what you're seeing with the Democrat Party, the violence, the media kind of censoring on behalf of the
Not
Democrat
kind of.
Party? Very much, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. It was bad before, but it's gotten to a point, they're stone cold dishonest. The New York Times is stone cold dishonest. Although I must tell you, they gave me great credit for the recent deal with Bahrain and UAE and Israel. I couldn't believe it. They gave me unbelievable. I couldn't have written it better myself. Tom Friedman gave us great credit. But outside of that, literally one story, and we've done things, that's very significant, but I've done things possibly much more significant than that. They don't give credit. The Washington Post is a disaster. You can't get a good story. It's disgusting. And then you go to ABC. NBC probably is the worst of all. Comcast, I call it Comcast, not Comcast. It's a con job because they always try and protect their name, like how legitimate they are. NBC is horrible. CBS is a disaster. And then you go into the real beauties, the MSDNC as we call it, and of course CNN. But at least CNN, you know where they're coming from. You know they're stone cold dishonest. At least you know that. So it's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing. Fortunately, local press is extremely good. I get great local. Whenever I stop for a speech, I do one or two local reporters. These are the greatest stories. It's like unbelievable. They cover it so good. Actually, they're almost more enthusiastic than I am. And so we have that. We have some honest media. Fox is good, but Fox is not what it was. I'll be very honest with you. They've become politically correct. They think it's wonderful. They have more Democrats on than they have Republicans. I'm complaining about it all the time. With all of that being said, we're doing much better than we did 4 years ago, and there's much more enthusiasm. You see these boat parades, truck parades, tractor parades. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We have nothing to do with it.
My discussion with Vice President Pence about Operation Warp Speed and the COVID-19 vaccine. When we return, we'll be right back. Welcome back to this Life, Liberty, and Levin special episode. In September this year, I asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo about how our founding fathers play a role in today's foreign policy. Here's what he had to say.
You can use your webcam for that.
Secretary,
How?
Go on Zoom.com.
make decisions or think about how to approach foreign policy.
Log in. Don't close that out.
I've undertaken
Stop.
the State Department denotes that because I think frankly we walked away from this. The central underpinnings.
You're already starting.
One is the central underpinnings of our nation. The principles that our founders laid down should drive the principles of our foreign policy. Right? They knew excess use of power can weaken our nation, that without a fundamentally strong American culture and economy,
Log in.
that our ability to influence security issues around the world would be diminished.
You might have to turn that off.
Second, they laid down a set of rights
Leave.
for the world.
Close your
For
app.
human beings, by the very nature of
Close
every
your app.
individual being created in the image of God.
Turn
Is that
off
these
the
are rights that
stream.
governments don't provide. And these governments can't